uneventful weekend. I always thought the U.S. would join in with Israel. I don't think it's going to be a one and done. And look at what my shirt says, hope. Okay. Hope is important in your life. You have to, if you become hopeless, you're, really going to just end up in a fetal position. You have to expect that if you get into the boxing ring, that you're going to take hits. Okay. So that didn't happen to us this weekend. Let's just review last week. Uh, Took profits on long dollar from being long down here. Got picked off at a 20 stop near the low, had to recommit. And we got back inside the wedge and then even broke out from the wedge. So if you believe in wedges, we could retrace all the way back up towards 100.5 to 101. I think there's more left. Of course, it's due for, could have a pullback at any time, but once we start clearing 99, again, I believe that we could accelerate. So that trade, we stayed long. I don't know how many units you have, but you should be taking partials. And now I would not want to see it back under 98. Okay, so that's your stop loss point, under 98 on the Dixie. You don't want to give it all back. And you also have some other positions on from last week. Short side, the Aussie is paying off pretty big too. We did it up here at 65.20. You could take partials. I'm looking for uh, deeper here as well. I have some fib retracements and the levels I'd be paying attention to. The first one is 38%, right around 63.20, and then possibly back down to 50% at 62.30, where I'll be looking to get long. So still short. You could have partials, but it's too early to get long. There could be corrections. I still think we're going lower. Euro, we have what I would describe as a descending triangle that's trying to hold this 14.5 level. So this was almost a 200 pip decline. So if we take it out, we could get back down to this level. 113 was important. And if things continue to escalate, depending upon the retaliation of Iran, and don't forget, now everyone's looking at the Middle East. There's still a war in Ukraine with Russia that's been intensifying as well. So I actually think that there's a chance for 111 before this dollar correction is over. And that's not going to be the end of the dollar rally. From 110, I think we rally back towards 120. But this is going to be a, kind of the summer shakeout period. We've been heading up since 102 in the euro. So let's just go 102, 116, 14, 38 back would be 5. That's a 111, 111 and a half for a 38% retrace of this whole move that we had, and then we can go again. So here's the daily from 102. So it would not interrupt the trend. I said I believe this was drive 2 that diverged and that we'll get a pullback and then one more drive. But let's stay focused on this. And I think there's more left in euro to the downside too. Canada was a big trade for us last week. I could just review it. I was early on it on Sunday night here and added on Tuesday. And I said, if you don't want to do what I'm doing, you could wait for it to close back over 36. And that's a buy signal. And then over 36.5 was another buy signal. And we got up to 38. So this is only, a couple hundred pips left for targets. I was thinking 39, 140 before we head down again, but I don't think it's over at 38. It could pull back. You could have had 3 units on, one here, one here, one here, and you should have taken partials on, 1 or 2 of the units. If you want to give it breathing room, we should not get back under 136.5 if you want to give whatever you have left breathing room. Okay, so let's talk about what WTI is doing right now. And, we came in sharply higher. We're diverging. We're still back under that trend line. I'm okay if we have a break. I don't think this is going to be it because I do think there could be oil prices could be affected by what's happening there on some escalation. I don't know if they're going to close the Strait of Hormuz, but just any kind of shipping mishap. There are a couple of ships that before the U.S. strike collided and oil prices went up. So, you have to be careful of that. Iran also has the option of hitting other oil producing states in the region. So I don't think they're going to lay down. And keep in mind, just like Israel has an ally, us. Iran has allies, right? I mean, 80% of China's oil comes from Iran. That's an ally. All right. North Korea is an ally. They help, they cooperate with weaponry. North Korea sends troops to Russia. And so the whole proxy war has gone up a level. The proxies prior to the war beginning in Iran, of course, was Hamas, Hezbollah. So that was Iran's proxies. So Iran is a proxy for who? For China, for Russia, and I'm not saying that they're going to enter the war, but they have the means to support Iran with missiles, rocket launchers. Uh, if they want to help them with the fissile material, so they're not alone either. So keep that in mind. When I saw President Trump make his speech Saturday night, I had a flashback to um, the scene where President Bush, after the Iraq attack, landed on an aircraft carrier with banners all above the ship saying mission accomplished. And what it was mission just starting. Okay, so we'll see. I know there's a lot of hopes that it's one and done, but now you even have President Trump bringing up the words regime change. So, I think things are going to continue to escalate, not every day, but diplomacy looks like it's off the table to me. The most resilient beach ball action in the S&Ps, because we opened down near this real important 5920 level. Look how many times we've tested it. Look at this. You could probably see it better here on a 4 hour. Didn't quite get to it last night. Maybe we're going to blow. That the market's going to interpret this as constructive, a little bit of U.S. exceptionalism with its display of um, bombs that have never been dropped, even though there have been nuclear bombs dropped, never an ordinance like this or a mission like this. So perhaps the S&Ps, if they can't break on that, are going to try new highs. But there's one thing I know for sure that, see this confluence with the moving average, that should we take out this 5920, and I don't think it's an if. Uh, we can make new highs first, but this 5920 in the next several days or weeks is going to be violated. That's going to take us back down to this gap back here. And that comes in just a little bit under 5,700. So if it's going to rally from there, it could do it on its own without me. I'll be waiting for 5,700. Let's take a look at how some of the Mag 7s acting. First of all, the semiconductors are up. Banks up a little bit. And now let's look at some MAGAs, and then I'll wrap it with crypto. So you have Amazon, still looks heavy from last week. Apple, I wouldn't call this a raging bull. Meta got hit last week. Is it going to make new highs? I don't know. And here's Google. I've been talking about Google since, up here. And if you look at it, it almost looks like a big bear flag. The breakdown's going to come in a little lower. Let's extend this flag line out. So this was one of the underperformers that I pointed out. Look, it went right to resistance and is backing off back under 160. New lows are coming. Netflix trying to top. He had a pretty good break. Maybe he wants another new high, but it's in the oxygen up here in Netflix is very thin. I still think it's a shorting candidate. Nvidia is up a little bit today, but not a great candle. And Uber is just sitting on this 50-day moving average, and it gives way. I see 75 and then 70. So that's the way I see some of the Mag 7 stocks. I'm still short Uber. We'll see what happens there. Bitcoin was a great call, the short from the 10,008 level last week. And, I was talking about this 92 level. It's holding 98. Maybe that's enough, or it looks like an ABC, but I still think that 93 is possible. And I pointed out this 92 level for a long time as being one of the most important levels in Bitcoin, going back, if you look left, for months and even a year. Ethereum trying to bounce even stronger than Bitcoin. Uh, is this the end of this correction and we're just going to blow? I'd give this an I don't know, but if I think Bitcoin, even though it's bouncing today, has lower levels, I would expect that to do the same. And then let's just cover Ripple. Take a look at Ripple's down. And you guys know I'm trying to be patient. This reminds me of my WTI line that I had waited for a year or so. That was at 62. So this is coming in a shade under 140. I really think it's a time, especially now if you're flat, to tread lightly, protect positions that are making you money, and you don't have to be in a hurry to do anything new. Manage what you have, and there's always another trade. And with that being said, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Have a great day trading. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And don't forget to check things out in the room at TradeGateHub to see what we're posting there. Adios, everyone.